Hello and welcome to my channel Making Crafts. Today I am working on the cover for my steampunk journal, and I went back and forth between what I should do for this journal, and I have finally settled with that I am going to collage the cover for the journal. I just couldn't really decide what type of journal cover I wanted, and so what I've done is I've cut down a file folder down to the size. I wanted something fairly thick so that it would be sturdy when I got done. And so I have cut down a file folder that I am going to use on the cover, as my cover I mean, and I'm going to collage onto this file folder. And so this is one of the last things major things I need to do before I finish up my steampunk journal. And so I've got most of the pockets and things made for it. I would probably have to make some journaling cards and tags for it. I probably don't have enough made up yet, but I will see once I put all the pockets in, fill it all, and see what I need for that. But I really need to get my cover made so I can sew the pages in and get this one finished. But I just kept putting it off because I thought about doing a leather cover or a faux leather, make faux leather cover. But this morning I've decided that I want a collaged cover because I'm really into collage lately and enjoying collaging, and I think that this will be pretty as the cover. So let's see what I can do with this. And I'm not sure, I think I'm going to, I might ink around all of the pieces as well. I'm not sure. I could go back and just, I have went back and just run the ink pad over and it does the edges enough. Maybe that's what I'll do because I'm really not wanting to ink each one individually. So I'm thinking that's what I should do instead of inking each one. And so I'm going to use my, let's see, I think I'm going to use my Barely Art Glue for this one because I want it to be good and sturdy and not come loose. So we'll see. I could use this or the Fabri-Tac. I think the Fabri-Tac is really good too. Either one I think will be good for it. So let's just see how this turns out. I really enjoyed making this journal. Let's see how I want to do that. If I want to leave a little edge or how I want to cover it. And so I have some book pages here. And these are some of the book pages I used from a book that I used the book pages in my journal, and so I'll be showing that in the next video, what book pages I've pulled out to put in the journal. And so I'm just going to use some of those on the cover as well. And then I've used some of those in other projects that I've collaged so that all of this will go together pretty nicely. And then I've just printed out some sheets here from the kit, this is the Steampunk Kit number 2 from Line.Arrow that I'm using for this. So I've printed out several sheets from that kit too. I think I do want to cross over. I'm going to spread this open and then I think I'm going to cross over to thicken up the actual cover as well. And I haven't decided, typically I like to put lace or something on the spine when I sew my journals in. So I haven't really decided yet what I am going to be using. So I don't know what to use. I'm going to have to see as I get through this process. Let's see here. Just want to add that there as well. And I've also printed out a sheet from Line.Arrow in its background papers that she has, and it's kind of like journaling papers. And this one has a ledger type grid on it, and so I'm going to be using that as well in the collage. I thought it went really well with the papers. Here's some of the, I'm going to get all the white edges off. Let's see here. Maybe add it right there. Then I'm trying to think. I really want a lot of these different papers on the front, so let's see here. Oops, that didn't tear so well, did it? Okay, let's just tear it off right here, and then tear off some of the white. I am really struggling with tearing this paper today. And I have the sniffles. I'm sorry about that. My allergies are acting up again today. I think maybe tearing it right here. I may want to cover that up right there. Just put a little bit right there. That's the thing with collaging. I think there's no rules. It's what works for you, what you enjoy, and what looks good to your eye. I don't think with crafting, there's really no rules anyway. You just create what makes you happy. And so that's how I feel. Maybe some people feel like there's rules, but I feel like it's just what you enjoy doing. You need to enjoy and not stress it. Sometimes we can stress a project so much that we don't even get started, so we have to just try something. That's what I finally had to do with this. I have stressed the cover, not sure what I wanted to do with the cover, and so finally I said, okay, I'm just going to get started with something, and then if I don't like it, then I can use it for this cover for something else, but I'm going to try it. So right here when I'm crossing over, since I am going to cover the fold line, I want to be sure to leave enough paper on each side that when you fold it again, the paper doesn't pop up. If it's too close to the edge of your paper, it will pop up. And I also have learned not to use certain types of book pages on the line, because if you do, it can crack. So you want to be sure what paper you are putting on the edge here. I mean, not on the edge, but on the fold line. And this is just this is a 32-pound copy paper that I have printed on, so it should be fine. Okay, so I'm trying to look what other pages I've printed out and what I want to add, and I've got several pages from the kit that I think will look good with this. So what if we add that? Or maybe I should go with another book page. I'm going to try this one. And this book that I'm using was a Leonardo da Vinci book, and I thought that all the drawings and things of all the different mechanics and machines and things that he thought up, I thought that would be good for steampunk, because steampunk is all about discovering and creating new type things, machinery and things. And so I thought that would be cool to have in this book. So that's what I've done. Let me see here. I'm going to tear it off just a little here. Maybe add it like that. Like this, overlapping some of these edges. And then, let's see here. I do like some words on my pages too. Well, that's kind of pretty too, though. I think I'm going to use that side. And so once I finish this one up, I can get started on, I'm going to get started on my little butterfly journal with the hydrangeas and all the bright colors. I'm going to get started on that one. So I'm excited to get going on it, because it's going to be more of a spring type journal. So it'll be fun to do. Just going to add another one of these little brown pieces in. And it doesn't have to tear perfect, because I like the different ragged edges in a collage. And I'm going to collage I'm going to collage the inside as well. So I'm going to try to collage the whole entire thing. Maybe some of that to cross over and get some of that white off the edge there if I can. Let's see here. How would that look? I'm not sure if I want to put his face right there or not. I like this one with the butterflies, but I am gonna see if I can find my ink. Those are really white edges where they were torn, and I don't want to tear anymore, so I'm just going to ink it and so that it blends in better. I am going to go back and rub some ink on the edges of all this as well. Just tear that just a little there. And just put it right here. Okay, so let me think. Okay, so now I've got the front collaged. I'm just going to take and I'm just going to ink around some of the edges like this. And I think that it does good to add some color. It makes the little ragged edges stand out. It gives it sort of a worn look. So that's what I'm going to do. Instead of doing each one individually, I think that this will be fine. I think this looks good. Anyway, this is how I like to do it a lot of times, because when I'm collaging, I just don't like inking each one individually because I'm not sure which ones I'm going to cover up anyway. So I'm just going to, and I like to ink over that. That was really white. So this way you can go back and just highlight what you want to highlight. And these sponges make it easy to do that. It makes it all stand out too. All those edges that I've torn to look ragged, it makes them stand out so that you do. It does show up a lot more. And then I'm just going to darken these pieces of book pages that I use because they're a bit white. This is a bit more white than I wanted. Okay. So now let me just ink the edges, and then I'm going to move on to collaging the inside. So I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, so now we're going to move on to collaging the inside. And I'm just going to use some very large pieces, I think, to collage the inside, because it's going to be covered up with pockets and different things as well, so it's not going to be seen as much. Which the outside I'm going to decorate as well. I'm going to cover the outside quite a bit. Let's see where I want to put him. I'm going to hold off on him because I don't want to cover him up, I don't think. But yeah, the outside, I'm going to add some decorations to it once I get through collaging this whole piece. There we go. Let me just tear that little bit off. So, I'm going to add this back here, right in here. Okay. Here's a good big piece of the papers. So I'm just gonna, I think I'll just run it along the edge here. Actually, I think I'm going to change my mind, and I'm just going to run it along the inside edge. There we go. And I think I'll just put him right in there, and then I'll just work around that and see what I want to add. Here's another one of those pictures from the book page. Make sure it's not one on the back that I like better. I think I'll just add it. Let's see. Maybe right in here. And then I'll just ink the white on it and make it brown once I go through and ink the whole thing. Oops, it slid on me. There we go. And let's see, we got a piece of paper here we can add. Book page. The great thing about collaging is if you add something and then you don't like it, you can always just add another piece right over top of it and collage right over top of it. So it's not going to be that big a deal. It's just nice to get started and do it. I'll just add this right in here. There we go. And I want to cover this spine here with some of this paper. Let me see. It's not going to be tall enough to do the whole thing, so I'm just going to, I don't want to make it too big and cover everything. Maybe I'll just take this part and right here. Just add this big piece here. Oops, I am just moving the whole mat, everything. So I'm going to just add that right in there. I think that'll be nice. Maybe more like that. Just going to add that little dude right there. And then I need to look and see, excuse me, I need to add some more papers. Let me see what I have here. I'm going to add some different pieces. This darker piece probably okay beside that one. About to run out of pieces. I may have to cut some more. That would look good. This is just a little piece of ledger paper. That may look good. Right in here. Or maybe right in here. Okay. Like I said, the inside will have lots of pockets and things in the pages, so it's not going to stand out as much as the outside will. I'm thinking of adding this little one, this one right here. So let me rip all the way down through here. And then I'm just going to measure it up right here. The back didn't take as long because I am using larger pieces for it, so that's good. Just got to decide 2 more spots what I want to add. I'm thinking a piece of this little paper here. And let's see, right there, be pretty. That was almost big enough for that spot. That's nice. Okay, so now I have the inside decoupage. I'm just going to go through like I did in the front and just ink around the edges, sliding up in different directions to ink around the edges. And then if anything, this way I can also see if anything's loose, and I'll just add more glue to glue it down if it is. And I do want to just darken any of the white right there, just getting it a little bit dingier. Dingying up some of those pages there too. And it also darkens the white edges where you've torn your paper. Sometimes those come through, and so it covers those up. And I see a little loose spot here, so I just add a little glue. No big deal. Right in there, that bottom piece didn't get quite enough glue. And this one was a little loose. And I better find my needle. I'm sure you guys see where I laid it, but now I don't see where I laid it. But it is going to start drying out. So I'm going to finish inking this and then find the needle for my glue, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I've made a huge mess on my desk. As you can see, stuff is scattered everywhere. And I've gone ahead and I've printed out I typed up some words that I wanted on my journal. And I've laid out some of the pieces. And this is a piece that was cut off of a tag in the kit. And then this is from a Tim Holtz stamp. These are labels that are in the kit. And this is the hinges I made. And so I think I've laid it out how I want it to look. So I'm going ahead and gluing down. I went ahead and glued that down before I turned on the camera. I forgot to turn the camera on. So now I am just going to glue all these pieces down. So each one, I've tried to lay it out like I wanted it. And I've gone ahead and inked them all. And I had a hard time deciding how I wanted to do this cover. So once again, when I went for the decorations, it took me a minute to come up with what I wanted. So I just paused the camera and then just came back to it. And I've glued all of my fingers. So how do I want that? I want this way. Get the glue off my fingers again. I'm just adding that in. I thought that looked good. Just add it there, and then and I tried to use words that I thought of with steampunk, and adventure, invent, explore, imagine, dream, inspire. Those are the words that I think of when I think of steampunk. So that is what I decided to use. So let me see how I'm going to glue all this down, and I kind of overlap the gears like that. Let me start here, and I will attach the word to the little label, and then I'll go from there. Because it is a bit crooked anyway, and I wanted to put it on straight. So there we go. And then I'm just going to have to do this bit by bit to make sure that because if I move everything, I will forget where it was at. So I'm just going to try to hold it down. And it doesn't have to be exact same spot, but I want it close to it. So I'm just going to hold it all down. And then I can go back and add more glue once I get everything kind of where I want it. Okay, so I'm going to move this gear for just a second and add glue to the back side of this. Okay, make sure it's the direction I want it to be, and then I'm going to put the gear there. Okay, I kind of remember how I overlapped it. It's going to be hard to do this. And I'm pretty certain I'm going to put this one up in my shop. This is going to be the first junk journal that I put up for sale. I do have a hard time letting go of my journals, but I'm thinking about putting this one in my shop along with a journal mini album that I made a couple of months ago. I'm thinking about going ahead and putting that in my shop as well. So we will see if I do. I may back out of it because when I get done, it is hard to let these things go, but I'm thinking I will. I'm thinking I'll go ahead and just try it. And so if I do, I will let you know. I'll put a link to it once it's finished in my description. Okay, let's see here. Just adding it right there. I think it's kind of how I had it. And then I want that dream up under there. So before it dries, let me add this. go. I have to go back under that gear and add more glue in just a minute. Let's see, how do I want that one? Do I want it under there and maybe hooked in there? Okay. Trying to put a little dot of glue on each one of these little gears here so that it sticks down good, because these gears are made with several layers of cardstock, and then with the paint it's very thick, so I want it to stick really good. So I'm just putting lots of glue on it. I'm just going to tuck it under here, and then I'm just going to line it up with the edge of that gear. Press it down. Then I'm just going to add some glue up under here so it'll stick, so that they'll stick together. There we go. That's looking good. And then I've got to put this gear in. So I want to add lots of glue to it and all its little spokes. I've enjoyed making this journal, and I'm really liking the cover finally. I had such a hard time deciding about the cover, but I am really loving this as I'm creating it. I'm really loving how it's turning out. I think it's going to be perfect for this journal. And I thought the words just, I liked that it makes it inspirational, so that whoever uses this, maybe they'll be inspired to create and to, let me see, I want that first. Maybe they'll be inspired to create and to use the journal for their ideas, writing down their thoughts and ideas. I think I want to move that just a little. I want it to be just into the gears like it's going to move. Just going to slide this out for a second. I'm going to get it glued down good. And just add it back right up under there. And add some glue to the gear again, just so make sure it sticks to the label there. Just press all that down. And then I'm going to add the little word inspire. I was originally laying it out to put all the words on the front, but then I thought that was just too many words on the front, so I am going to, that's why I went ahead and added some to the back, because I thought they looked good on the back. And now I'm going to add these little hinges, and they're going to wrap around to the back side, so you'll see them on the back and the front. So let me line them up again how I wanted them. Kind of want to space them out evenly from the top and bottom there, about the same amount. And then right here in the center be different lengths apart, but let's just see here. Okay, so I'm just going to add some glue to this side first, since I have it where I like it, and then I'm just going to fold it over like that. And then I'm going to add this one. Let's see there. Okay. Pressing it down, and then we'll just add the center one. These are the gears that I made using my Silhouette Cameo, and there is a video, and I'll try to trying to think which one it was. I think it was the video where I made these in. It's one of my first steampunk videos. So that's where, oops, that didn't have enough glue on it. So the steampunk video, oh, I didn't add glue because I was waiting. But it's the first steampunk video, I think, the first or second one, where I'm making tags and different things with hinges. I think it even says hinge in the title. And so this is some hinges left over from where I made those for that video. And so I thought they'd be great on the front. And so then I'm just going to add them to the inside. And I love how this collage turned out. I think it looks beautiful. All these papers together look so good together. So I'm very happy with this. So I'm just going to hold these down here. And give the glue a moment to dry. It dries fairly quickly, but just giving it time to get good and dry. So I really like how this turned out. I really like how the papers work together for the collage and all. So now I am ready to start adding my pages to my journal. So that will be the next step, is just getting the pages added in. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.